Okay, let's get started. Please download Lab 36 from Blackboard and use your Jupyter Lab to open it. All right, so today we're going to learn algorithm building blocks. All right, so let's get started. First, please run this script to identify a host name, username, and the kernel information, as you see here. And then please double click the second cell to input your full name, our number, and the title and the date. So the title could be you can just copy this algorithm building blocks. Okay, so it's used to like help you to review the labs before your quiz and exams. All right. Yeah, so please complete the first two cells yourself, and yeah, today we're going to learn how to design the blocks, the algorithm blocks. All programs are made up of three fundamental patterns of control of flow. First one is sequence. Actually, we have already learned we have already used many of the sequence in the previous labs, right? So for example, first we need to define a variable, and then after that we perform some operations, and then we print something. It's a typical example of a sequence. It means one instructions after another. And the second one is about the selection, or we can call it a conditional statement. It means a group of instructions may or may not be executed depending on some condition. So we use the if statement keywords in some statements, right? So if one condition is satisfied, then we will perform some instructions, or we will perform another group of instructions, right? And the last one would be repetition, or we can call it a loop. I think in this class, maybe in Lab 8, we will learn how to write the for keywords or while keywords in the loop statements. It means a group of instructions repeated multiple times. Okay, so it means if you know how many times you want to repeat, you need to use the for loop, but you can also use a while loop to control like undetermined times, right? And let's start with a simple story. So here is how to analyze this story and how to write a pseudocode or the procedures of the codes by yourself. All right. So start time. So Bob goes to the campus from home every day. He told Alice that he has 3 travel options to choose from. He can either walk, ride his bike, or take the bus. Bob's choice depends on what time he leaves his home, right? His first class is at 8 a.m. and if he has more than 30 minutes till the class, when he leaves home, he walks. But if he has less than 30 minutes, he will take the bike, and sometimes he leaves home even later. If he only have 15 minutes or less before class, he will take the bus. Okay, so it is about the story time. And if you want to write a Python codes on this story, we need to analyze first. So Alice wants to write a pseudocode to understand the problem, to provide the pseudocode to solve the problem. But I think maybe not a pseudocode, you just need to analyze and show the procedure. Okay, so what is the input? Actually, so the input would be the time he leaves home, right? Because it is a simple example, so only one argument is about the time, right? And the options, the output or the result would be the travel options, right? Travel option. Yeah, so what kind of option he will choose, Bob will choose, right? So it's the output or the result. And the procedure, I think you need to, because today there's no exercise, so I think it can be considered as an exercise. So you need to finish it by yourself. But I can give you some hint here. You can write some like a number the list. The first one, maybe if the time is before, maybe if the time is before 7:30, it means the first one, right? More than 30 minutes. Then he chooses to walk, right? And after that, if it is between 7:30 to 7:30, 7:45, then he chooses to ride his bike, right? And if it is later than 7:45, then he will choose to take the bus. So, but you can choose it by you can write it by yourself. All right. So it's about procedure. Yeah. So I will uncomment here. So please finish it by yourself. All right. After this class, you have enough time to finish it. Yeah. So it's about the simple example here. And next one is about let's see some concrete examples about the sequence and the selection today. We will use 3 labs to introduce you how to write a sequence, selections, or repetitions to build the algorithm blocks. All right. Actually, this operator, this code we have already learned in lab 2 or lab 3, I think. So when we learn how to assign something, we learned that and we use it as examples in the labs, but we didn't go into details. But today we can learn that, right? So the first one is about how to assign something. You can click to run. The first one you see here, arithmetic assignment operator. So it is exactly the same as. And the second one would be x is x minus 2, right? And this one would be x is x 1 plus 3. And the last one is exactly the same as divided by 2. But you need to notice that at the last one, although x is an integer and 2 is an integer, but the result would be a float number, right? Because if you use the division operator, then the result would be a float number. But if you choose to use the float division, then the result would be an integer, but you don't need to try. We tried several times, right? All you need to do is just write and show me the result. And please remember to understand how to do the assignment, because in the sequence, the most important thing is to assign something to some variables. Okay, so please make sure to know what does that mean. Okay. All right. So any questions so far? Okay, next one is about how to print something. It's also about the variables types example. So as you see here, we define 5 variables in this example. The first 2 are all numbers. The first one is an integer, and then mass in kilograms is about the float number, and then the next 3 variables are all about the strings, right? And single quotes and or double quotes doesn't matter. You see here we use a single quotes, but the second one is a double quotes. But if you use single quotes or double quotes, then although you input a float number, it will be considered as a string, right? And after that, you should write, and let's see it one by one. So this line, we print all about me, right? And after that, we print this line. So name, right? And then the comma will be converted to a space. So that's why here is the double spaces in the output. and my name, it will print out the value of my name and math, and then the value of the second variable, so this flow number, right? And then after that is about the phone, right? Third line is the phone and this, the phone number. And then here is the way we can discuss this backslash. So if you want to print out some special symbols, like here, want to print out this single quote, you need to use the backslash. Or if you don't use the backslash, then if you delete it, then it will be considered as a single quote, then it will end here. Okay, so there will be some errors. So it's not a symbol, it's a single quote of the print function. Okay, so that's why you need to use the backslash to to get this single quote into literal. Okay, and we will learn some more special symbols in the future, and I will talk about that then. Okay, so if you need to know that, I will give you more hints. And last here is the concatenation. So it's about how to combine this strings together and use the uppercases to make them in all their uppercases. And the last one, so in lab 2 or lab 3, I skip this line because I thought for now you don't know about the list or how to define a list, how to slice a list, but now you have already learned the data structures, right? So actually the strings can be considered as a list. That's why you can slice a string. And the principles of the slicing of a list is the same as one in the strings, as you see here. So 0 and 4, the start index and the end index would be 4. So start index would be 0, it means the first element, and continue until the fifth element, before the fifth element. That's why here we print out the first 4 characters, THEO, right? So if you leave them blank, it will also get started from the first character, right? And then if you delete, it will be considered as the whole string, right? But you can use a -1 or -1, so you see it will be considered to remove the last digit, because -1 means the last index. So it will be before the last index. Then you see only E is removed. Okay. So yeah, but I only want to show you some more experiments. So if you're not sure, I suggest you to try some experiments on in yourselves if you're not sure about the slicing. Okay. Because write more, but because if you want to learn it good, you need to write more codes, write more cells. Yeah. So it's about the second example. So any questions so far? Here's about how to assign something. And then I will show you one more complicated example. It's also about the sequence, but here in this example, we need to define a list first, and then we will create a new empty list to store the cubes of each element of the first cell or the first list. So in other words, we have 2 lists, and the first one would be original lists, and then we want to compute the cubes and store into another list. All right. So here, the example below is done, but we can also use a loop to do that. But because for now we don't want to discuss the loop, we will learn it in the following classes. Okay. And the first one is a reset. So it's a very useful code, because in the previous labs, if you have some errors, I told you to interrupt or restart the kernel by clicking here, right? But you can also use this way to get inside, get reset and the dash and F. Then you can use this one to do a manual kernel restart and then restart the kernel, okay? You can run it. And after that, it will clear all the memory. So if you have already defined some variables, when you run this way, the variables has been destroyed. If you want to use them, you need to define them again. So it's just like restart the kernel, refresh all the memories. All right. And then please uncomment this line to create a list of flows. Okay, so this one is very important. So please make sure to run them one by one. All right, if you forgot to run one cell, forget to run one cell or run one cell in several times, you will get errors. All right, so please make sure to run them one by one. First one, you need to check, and you need to check the numbers here. You need to find them to run it one by one. Okay, so the first one would be reset and then create a new list. There are 5 numbers here, 5 loads from 0 to 4.0, and then create a new list. So I'm not sure. So command the slash or control and the slash, I think. You need to use this way to do the comment or uncomment. For example, here, do that hotkey, and we set position as -1. All right, and then double select the click 1. So in this way, position +1, it means position would be 0, right? And then we use the append function. If you remember the append function, it means we want to add one element to the end of B list. And what is the value? The value would be power. This is that this function is to calculate to the power of 3. And the base is the A list 0, right? Because the position is 0 now. 0 means the first element, it will be 0, 0. So you use this way to calculate to the 0 to the power of 3 or the cube of 0 and then append to the B list. Okay. And remember to write, and then you see check to see 11, 12, 13, 14, right? And after that, write again, do that again and write again. So in this way, for example, I will show you for now, there are two numbers in the B list because you use the append function set 2 times, right? You append, right, and see. Yeah, so you see there, you see here, right? And do that again for the third element, fourth element, right? Print again, sorry. So for now, it should have 4 elements, right? 4 elements, and then last one, do that again. So print again. So the result would be 0, 1, 8, 27, 64. So please make sure to run all the cells one by one, only one time, but the right order. Don't do it 2 times, because now if you run any cells 2 times, perhaps you have an error. Maybe the index out of the A list, right? I think you had an error. So please show me your result as this way. Only from 0 to 64 is correct. All right. If you have different result, something is wrong, and please reset your kernel and do that again. All right. But you don't need to do that. You don't need to print this way in the middle. I just want to show you what happened. Okay, so any questions, or do you have any errors? I'll give you 1 more minute to finish this one. It's pretty clear, right? So define a list, define the second list, and set the index or position and then append the first element, append the second element, third one, append the fourth one, the fifth one, and then print out. Okay, so any questions? Okay. All right, last one. Okay, so let's check out the last example. It was one selection. So our next structure is a selection. So a council member will be allowed to vote if his or her attendance in the council meetings is than 75%. So take the following inputs from the user, because we learn the input function and output function, right? So the number of the council's meeting held or number of the attendant. So, and then complete this percentage attendant is the attendant number divided by the total number and then multiply 100. Okay, use the result to decide whether the council member will be allowed to vote or not. All right, so it's about the selection. Yeah, so, and actually the professor have already given you all the codes here. You just need to uncomment, and then please input the council person name. So you can use your name or you can use any other names. For example, here Bob, right? So, and then sorry. And my meeting total. Then you see here we use the input function, right? And the strings in the quotes is some hints for users, right? How many meetings since the last vote. And then after that, we use the typecasting, the int function to convert strings into some integers, right? Oh, sorry, right? Maybe 120 meetings, right? Please enter, and then after that, you define another promote string. How many meetings did Bob attend? Then you input another number. So in this number is maybe 76, right? And after that, you need to compute the attendance. Compute the attendance, and here is attended divided by meeting total, multiply 100. Okay. Right. And after that, you need to do the selection. It's about how to do the selection. You need to use the if keywords, and then the condition. You set the condition as the person attend smaller than 75, and then print something else. Else means if it is greater than 75 or equals to 75. So if you can print something else. So for example, here you print the name and then attended, and then the number is not eligible or illegible to vote, right? But you can also use the format. If you remember, format S for strings, you can also use this way, but you can use either way. You can use this way, or you can use the percent operator and S for strings. I think this is okay. So please write, and then you see Bob attended 63. So it's smaller than 75. So it's not illegal to vote. All right. So yeah, so it's about the second example is about the selection. Let me show you again. So first you can input the name, right? And after that, you do the how many meetings, maybe 17 meetings. And then after that, you do the motion again. So how many meetings is about maybe 58, right? And after that, I forgot to press enter and run again and run again. So it is 82, so it's illegal to vote. Yeah, so it's about the second example about selection. All right, so if you want to know something more, you can read these documents. All right, and you can use the next 10 minutes to finish the procedure, and then please submit your work. All right, so that's all I want to share today. So this is your exercise, so please finish this procedure, and all other things is just run all the cells and show me the output. And the result of the sequence would be this one, okay? So if you are different, it is not correct. But the selection, you can select any numbers, so it doesn't matter. All right, so that's all I want to share today. Please remember to submit your work before the end of next Monday. Okay, so have a nice day, and see you on next Monday, guys. If you have questions, you can stay here. Any errors or something? Grading our lab. Yeah, I just graded the lab 1, and I will grade the lab 2 to lab 4 during the weekends. So you can check your grade on next Monday. Yeah. Okay. Assignment. Okay, so first of all, you need to run all the cells, right? All the cells, and then please finish this practice. The input and the output I have already told you, and the procedure you need to finish it by yourself. Run some procedure about this story. Okay. So what do you mean? What room are we in? So I'm not sure. So what do you mean by what room? What room are we in? Oh, office hour. Okay. Office hour is like Friday. Yeah. So Friday. Let me show you. Today means Friday, right? And my office hour is you see there's 304. It means engineering center 304. Okay. You can also join the office hour with the same link. With this link, I will also set up a Zoom meeting here. So if you cannot visit me in person, you can join the Zoom link, the same link as you attend the labs. Okay. Does that answer your question? Okay, sure. Okay, I will stop here. And if you have more questions, you can send me an email or visit me during my office hours.